What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So come by and say hello. All right, the last town hall had a lot of content, and it did not fit in my 5 biggest takeaways. So I wanted to cover several other things, including the SPS roadmap. And so I figured we would do a little bit of a deep dive here. And I know some folks were comparing the last roadmap that was released either in March or August, or March or April. And I just didn't feel like that was worth the time. I took a look at it, and here's the thing. The last roadmap that was released was hardpoint's like best estimations where things would be. And now this is still the best estimation where things could be. So that was the first one. Like, a lot of things are shifting around. There's so much happening behind the scenes with the team and just trying to get everything running on full tilt. So I just want to look at where they think we are right now, and then maybe in the future we can start to compare certain different movements. But the first time that a roadmap was released, I don't think it's necessarily fair or constructive to be going back and being like, hey, like this changed. Like, sure, we can do that in the future, as long as we're getting these on like a monthly basis. Ideally, that would be great. So let's just go ahead and dive in and see where we are at. Now, the good thing is there are a couple things, especially the early stuff here, that we already have dates on, which is awesome. So ranked rewards is coming up first, and that is going to be the 31st of May or the 1st of June, whenever that ends up being. I think it's the 31st of May. It's going to be whatever the end season date is for this that we will go live. Now, I just realized they don't even have the validator nodes on here, so that is also set for May 25th. So that's coming up in less than a week, or about a week from when I'm recording this. So there's two things within the next couple of weeks, within the next month or so, or I should say by the end of the month or so. So following that, we have Wild and Modern Phase 1, and I know that the team is itching to get this out as quickly as possible. And then to round out Q1, we have the tech modernization as well as the non-card market. So keep in mind, Q1 only lasts until the end of June. So we got validators coming next week. We got the new ranked rewards coming out in about 2 weeks here. And so with Wild and Modern, tech modernization, and non-card market trying to be launched for Q1, I think that's really ambitious. But you know what? I'm getting a lot more bullish now, because I feel as though the team has, I feel like the team is firing on all cylinders, it seems like, and they're very excited about all the different things that are set to drop over the next couple of months. So I do want to give them the benefit of the doubt when they say that they're trying to get all these things out by the end of the quarter. Now, tech modernization, this is going to be more so a back end thing. I don't think we're going to really notice it outside of our gameplay experience probably being better and maybe feeling smoother overall as the code gets more standardized and modernized. So Wild and Modern, if we're going to kind of extrapolate this out, I just can't see Wild and Modern being put out like 2 weeks after. It sounded as though Cryptomancer needed about 2 to 3 weeks to tweak the code. And so I can see Wild and Modern actually coming out closer to the end of June. And I think we may get Wild and Modern as well as the non-card market roughly around the same time. Now, keep in mind, I know that they don't like to do, major updates to the code, but if we get these like a week apart, if they're trying to get the non-card market out and Cryptomancer is still working on Wild and Modern, I can see, again, I feel like they should have put it this way if that was the plan. I can see two things. I can see either the non-card market getting pushed up, and so therefore kind of leapfrogging Wild and Modern. Maybe it comes out mid-June or third week of June, and then we get the Wild and Modern Phase 1 on the last week of June. Because keep in mind, for something like the non-card market, they're going to put it out, and they just want to make sure the site doesn't explode, right? There's nothing that they need to really watch beyond that. Obviously, they're going to be tweaking and working out bugs and whatever. But I don't think that you need like a 2 weeks in between, in the same way that I feel like you need a 2 weeks in between ranked rewards and Wild and Modern, right? They want to really make sure the economy is functioning. They want to make sure the rewards are going. Like, there's a lot more there, in my opinion. But again, I'm not a coder, and I don't know what the back end looks like for any of these. So with the non-card market, I can see two things happening. Very obviously, it either moves up or it moves back. I don't know that if I'm placing Wild and Modern at the end of June, I don't know that the non-card market comes out the same week. So it either comes out a week before-ish, maybe, or 2 weeks before if they're ready to go, although they're only at 50% now, 58%, or it gets pushed into Q3. So I can see that happening because if we take a look at Q3, there's only two things listed here right now. You got Rift Watchers and Land Phase 1, and they've already said Rift Watchers is set for August, or at least estimated for August at this point in time. So if the non-card market gets pushed to July, I can see the non-card market getting released in July, Rift Watchers getting released in August, and then Land potentially getting released in September. And that will cover your 3 months of Q3. Excuse me. So, I don't think there's much else to dive in right now. It sounds like the non-card market is really the phase 0 of Land. So until we get that, I don't know that we're going to have much more information. Although they did update, hopefully here on the roadmap, that Land phase 1 is going to be quite different. So you will be able to reveal and convert your land. You'll be able to survey the land deed NFTs and reveal its properties, which is something that I think was being saved for phase 2, but that was a mistake that was put on the last roadmap. So there's a miscommunication there internally. So phase 2 is actually getting kind of pulled into phase 1 at this point in time, which is fantastic news. And I know that I'm late to reporting this. I didn't make a video specifically covering it, but as we go through the roadmap, it looks like it's official now rather than just a live stream that Matt did a couple of weeks ago. So after that, we're going to go to Q4, where we're going to get the SPS validators and Wild and Modern Phase 2. Now, Wild and Modern Phase 2 sounds more like an aesthetic type of thing, like it's just a new UI. I don't know that there's going to be like any major game or infrastructure changes. So, that'll be kind of nice, and I don't think that there's any necessary rush for that. I think the people who have been waiting for Wild and Modern will be happy enough just to have it, and if we get the game to look prettier, maybe run a little bit more smoothly, all for it. Q4 is also going to be a tricky time just because it's the holidays. People may be going on break. all of that crazy stuff that happens across industries, I should say, in Q4. Excuse me one second. It's still morning here. All right. There we go. All set. All right. So SPS validators, that's set to go live in Q4. And now, guys, I'm actually somewhat bullish on them hitting their Q4 target. I was thinking that there's just so much happening, and if there's a bunch of delays, then this may get pushed out to Q1. But if we do get it in Q4, that would be great. I mean, that's what they're estimating, right? But the fact that there's nothing else outside of Wild and Modern Phase 2, I think that leaves a lot of room available for Q4 to be the time when SPS validators go live, and that the team can really focus in and hone in on that. So that oh my gosh, excuse me guys, I'm sorry. It's still early morning here, but I wanted to make sure I get some content for you before I started the rest of my day. So that is the rest of 2022 in a bit of a nutshell. And we'll just take a quick peek at 2023. Again, the further out we go, the more fuzzy these dates get to me. So, you got Rebellion in Q1, you got Land Phase 2 in Q1, you're going to have SPS Governance Phase 1, as well as Splinterlands validators. And that is going to be different from the SPS validators, because keep in mind, right now, the only thing that the validators are decentralizing is SPS and vouchers. In the future, they want to decentralize the entire game. So right now, they're 0% of the way towards that. But the idea would be that every asset would essentially live or be validated by those validator nodes. So, I don't know I can't really speak intelligently on any of this. I would say that if they do stick the landing on getting Land Phase 1 out in Q3, then I can see Phase 2 being implemented about 6 months later. Although, we'll see how everything kind of goes with Phase 1. Phase 0, really, non-card market, and then Phase 1. Rebellion would be nice to get in Q1, but this is the biggest unknown to me, just due to the fact that Chaos Legion is still struggling with pack sales. So the team seems very confident that they are going to get this, that they're going to get a massive flood into the market throughout the back half of the year. So hopefully if that does end up being the case and we sell out of Chaos Legion by the end of the year, then that would make Q1 a viable option for Rebellion, because keep in mind, they do want to have some time between when sometime between when Chaos Legion sells out and Rebellion releases. So couple of things that are up in the air for next year. Governance phase obviously would be nice. I could actually see the governance phase coming into play sooner rather than later, because I know Matt Matt's just been talking nonstop about that. So I know that if everything goes right with the validators, then Q1 could be a very important time for that. But really, we're just kind of speculating because there's just so many other factors that we need to pull into this in order to see what next year looks like. But I will say this, based on the roadmap, based on the confidence the team has, I'm very bullish about hitting all the things that they are trying to hit within the targets that they are trying to hit for the remainder of the year at least. Again, the only thing that is not, that I'm a little confused on is the wild and modern and non-card market both being fit into Q2. So we'll see how that goes. But again, as long as we get wild and modern by the end of June, I'll be happy. I really don't want that pushed off any further. Non-card market, I know people want land, but the non-card market is not going to be the full implementation of land. So I don't mind that getting pushed off, even though I have a couple of land plots. So, but that is really it, guys. I would actually love to hear your thoughts on where we are standing right now. What you guys think? Am I too bullish? Am I too bearish on some of the release dates here, or my analysis of the release dates, I should say? And yeah, we can continue the conversation in the comment section below. So have an amazing rest of your day. I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.